Yo, what's up? Here's Rafael, my G, who I'm visiting today in Hannover, as I told you in the morning. If you want, you can give a quick introduction of who you are.
Yeah, so I'm Rafael, I'm 17, I'm almost 18, and I'm living in Hanover. This is our apartment where I'm living with my family. And as Felix told you, he's visiting me today. Yeah, I still go to school, but also quit school just as Felix did. And, I'm also doing some marketing stuff online as he's doing. Not as successful, but I'm also doing that. And I'm building my personal brand. He's going to link that in the video description. And to earn some money on the side, I'm working at a bakery and giving some tennis lessons for some little kids. And that's basically what I do. But besides that, I also go to the gym, as you guys can see, and I play tennis very, very well.
Yeah, so I'll link his Instagram down below in the description.
Go check it out and
sure,
leave a follow. It's on German though, but you all guys can support.
Yeah, it's like he's creating a lot of content also around productivity. So what does your morning routine look like right now?
Well, before we're starting our conversation, would you like a cup of water? Because
yeah, sure.
I'm thirsty, and I guess you too, after you just arrived here. Wait a second.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Now, I gotta make it look aesthetic. Wait a second. Alright. That should be fine. Gotta make sure I don't mess around here. Alright.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bro. Alright, so my morning routine. Well, before I'm going to show you my actual morning routine, let me show you what I'm not doing. Because one of the dumbest things I've done in my life was waking up at 5 a.m., doing yoga for 30 minutes, then meditating for 50 minutes, taking a cold shower, preparing breakfast for 20 minutes, then eating breakfast while scrolling through TikTok, reading a book I I was reading, but I didn't implement the lesson, so I was wasting my time, and I was scrolling on TikTok. So basically, I was doing some great things, but I wasn't really being productive and working on something that was meaningful and led to me making more money or being successful in life. And I feel like this is one of the biggest traps that people in the productivity and self improvement niche fall into. That they feel like as long as they're doing something meaningful. But sorry, but if you're just doing, yoga and meditating and all that, stuff, then you are doing something good with your time, but you're not being really productive and building something meaningful in life. And this is something you all guys should notice or should note down is that as soon as you start your day, do something meaningful, keep your routine as concise as possible, and start your main work as soon as possible. For example, now I'm going to show you my actual routine. I wake up between 5 and 6. I get up, I make my bed, open my window to get some fresh air, take a cold shower, make a coffee, drink that coffee, and then get straight to work on my desk.
That's great. How long does your routine take in total?
About, let me guess, from waking up to starting work, about 20 minutes, I guess.
That's good.
And this is what you guys should do. Because if you're sitting there around for 2 hours doing yoga and meditating and reading, then you spend time doing something, but you haven't built anything.
Yeah,
Would you agree?
I totally agree because I've been doing quite a lot with morning routines as well. Like I've tried different things. I've been sometimes waking up even at 2:30 in June last year, which was kind of crazy. But like I had like 4 hours of deep work in the morning, which was great. I was only like on 6 hours of sleep though. So I've like experimented around it. What I'm doing right now is like I'm waking up, I'm getting straight to the bathroom, taking some water, and then what I've tried now is going for a walk like 5-10 minutes after waking up to get some sunlight in, and that's been working quite well for me. But honestly, because my productivity stuff in general right now is that I just have non-negotiables on my to-do list I do every day, and then a few extra tasks. Because I've tried all of the stuff like time blocking or scheduling specific tasks for a specific time, all of that stuff. But I've just noticed in the past few weeks when I have the least restrictions to how I'm working, and all I have to do is just get my non-negotiables done, then I'm more productive and like don't play around with all of these productivity hacks.
That's a really great point because I once had a time in my life where I was scheduling things really, really clear. Like I was saying, okay, doing outreaches from 6 to 6:30, and then for the next 50 minutes, I'm doing some prospecting. But we all know that life isn't. You can't really plan life. Something happens, life happens, stuff happens, and sometimes the outreaches take a bit longer. Sometimes working on a project for a client takes a bit longer, and you can't um, calculate that before you're doing that. So I have also some non-negotiables I do every single day, and I really don't care how long it takes. I need to get this stuff done, and that's how I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, agree. So like, let's say I don't know, it's 10:30 p.m. You're stressed. You got just went home from the gym, and you still got tasks to do to write some copy for a client project. Would you still like sit down, finish this project, or put it off and do it tomorrow first thing in the morning?
Mm. Honestly, it depends on what kind of project. For example, if it's a project where I need to do some research and have my entire brain focused on the project, then I do it in the morning because this is where I'm the most focused. But if it's something I wouldn't say casual, but where I don't need 100% of my brain capacity, then I do it as much as possible in the evening. But the thing is that when I'm awake until 1, 2 a.m., then of course my sleep schedule changes and it messes up my sleep rhythm. So I try to go to bed as early as possible, wake up as early as possible. But for example, today I went to bed at 1 a.m., but I still got up at 6:30 because I don't want my sleep schedule to change. That's how I'm viewing it.
Yeah, so you go to bed the same time, wake up the same time every day.
Well, not to be honest. I don't manage to get to bed at the same time every day. But no matter when I'm getting to bed, I still try to wake up at the same time. Of course, this means I'm losing a lot of sleep, but I don't really want that to affect my daily rhythm. Because when I wake up at 8 a.m., I feel completely shit, completely unproductive, and it just makes me lose my momentum for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's interesting. 'Cause, like, how much sleep do you get on average?
Tonight, maybe 5 hours, and I wouldn't say on average it's way below 8 hours. I know this is really bad for me because I'm only 17, but I think to myself that once you made it in a couple of years, then you can easily sleep 8 more hours a day. Or you can go on vacation for 2 weeks and sleep the entire day.
Yeah, I get your point because like I've been doing like 6 hours of sleep consistently while at school last year. When I was waking up, and like in the afternoon I kind of like fell asleep on calls when I was listening to them. So I honestly don't think it's worth if you sacrifice if you're like on 5 hours constantly because I just think if you have let's say 7 hours is all you need, and like these 2 hours in between that you have more time to work but you sacrifice your sleep for it. I honestly think that throughout the whole day, if you got 2 hours of more sleep, more energy, that you'll be
Yeah,
more productive in these hours than in the two that you just gained.
that's a great point. Though I found a way to work around that, and because it was often that in the morning I was waking up early doing some work, and when I got home from school, I had this big energy crash. I had no idea, and sometimes I even went to bed and slept for an entire hour. And what I did to work around that is that directly after school I go to either the gym or a tennis training session or whatever. But what I did not do is sit at my desk because then I was always tempted to go to bed again. So I did my best to stay away from my room, be somewhere else, or work in a cafe or whatever to not be tempted to go to sleep. And then after the gym session, after the tennis training, I was often completely more energized.
Hmm.
And so I had even more energy to work in the evening, complete the rest of the tasks, and then go to bed.
Yeah, I'd say that's quite interesting because like when I was going to school, I was going to gym directly after as well, and sometimes even like fasted state, and then I was eating 6:30 in the morning at
Hmm.
school, then gym, and then in the afternoon eat again. And don't you think it decreases your performance while being in the gym as well?
Well, honestly, yes, it decreases your performance, but I feel like it's sometimes necessary, because I am, in my mind at least, it's the way that I feel like when you really sleep 8 hours every single day, and you're still going to school, maybe you got, all right, I'm not in that situation right now, but let's say you got like a family, a wife, a husband, no, a dog, a pet, or whatever, then you get all these responsibilities, and then maybe it's really not possible for a certain time to sleep 8 hours every day. Of course, it would be the best possible scenario, but I think you got to make sacrifices somewhere in your life, because you can't. For example, what I always dreamt of was becoming a bodybuilder, a millionaire, and a pro tennis player at the same time. And I just realized that this isn't possible at all. Like, of course, maybe there's one person in the entire world that can manage all these things, but um, I'm yet to know that person, because I haven't found that person. And I think you gotta make sacrifices somewhere, sacrifice some dreams for other dreams that are bigger, and just make priorities in life. And I mean, if you get around with 6 or 7 hours of sleep every day, as long as you're still being productive and manage to do that, then I think it's fine. But I guess that's also different from person to person.
Yeah, I totally agree on the point that you gotta sacrifice something for your success, and you gotta make priorities. So you gotta decide, okay, I don't know, is my health my number one priority, and I would sacrifice some time that I can work on my business just to go to the gym.
Exactly.
Or you sacrifice sleep, and I, I'm totally advocate for sacrificing certain things. I just try to not sacrifice my health when it's possible. So I don't know, let's say you got 30 minutes in the evening before going to bed that you're always watching your favorite TV series or game of football or whatever. So I try to sacrifice first the things that I don't really need, and when it comes down to then I sacrifice my sleep. I did it.
Exactly.
And you gotta have phases. It's not forever, but just temporarily. And I feel like the more stuff you can cut out to get towards your goal without like really hurting your health, because like yeah, you might not be eating optimal all the time. You might not have the best sleep. But if you can like totally focus and log in on your business for the next couple months, and you just need that for the time, then go for it.
Exactly. This is what I totally agree, and I also feel like that you gotta, as you said, you gotta neglect or cut out all the things that you don't really need, all the temporary satisfaction, like drugs, porn, scrolling on TikTok. It's really the dumbest thing you can do, because you're spending time on something that's just that is decreasing your IQ, it's decreasing your health, it's decreasing your pocket, your money, and you're just not getting the time back, because time, you can't buy your time back.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan Mattel says that, but uh, but if you're being honest, you can't buy your time back, and that's why I feel like you can or should only spend time on things that are really necessary, and cut out all the distractions.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like all of the cheap dopamine pleasures that you just mentioned. I think at some point, like it's a necessity basically if you go into business that you cut out all of these things. But I'm also talking about things that don't give you like the cheap dopamine. Like I don't know, for example, in the last year, 1.5, I've probably like seen my family less than I did before. Because like I was working, I was locking in the time. And I'm not saying you should sacrifice your family time to just work on your business all the
But
time.
honestly, it's necessary.
Sometimes you just gotta temporarily, like for now, I love spending time with my family, and definitely now that I'm out of school want to make that a priority as well again. But when you just have like 4 or 5 hours a day that you can really focus on your business, then sometimes it's just necessary to like sacrifice those things temporarily as well. So
Exactly, but I also feel like that this is something where you need to be really careful, because some people in your life, you love them so much, like for example your mother, your wife, your girlfriend, your father, your brother, or some good friends of yours. And if you're not, maybe some people will understand it wrong, that you're telling them, yeah, I gotta log in, I gotta focus, and they're saying, wait, you never spend time with me, what's wrong with you, you changed so much. And first up, yeah, this is the entire point, that I've changed, because I'm logging in all the time, I'm doing something meaningful, and I'm not jerking off, I'm not wasting my time around, so this is first. But I feel like you still gotta make time for these people, but not just for them, but also for you, because I feel like there are some people in my life that when I see them and when they're watching this video, they're gonna know who I mean. That spending time with them just makes my life also better. And I feel like this is something you really shouldn't neglect, those good relationships. And even if you can't see them every single day, just make sure that connection is or stays as strong as possible. Because I could never imagine losing certain persons just because I need to log in.
Yeah. Would you say quality of time that you spend with these people matters more than the quantity?
Yeah, always. Because I would rather see a person once a week and have a really great day with them, or a really nice dinner, or whatever I'm doing with them, than seeing them every single day, but just yeah, chatting around, messing around, and not not doing something that makes the connection stronger. Because when I'm with people, I'd rather talk to them directly and not laugh all the time, talk shit, or be on the phone constantly when I'm with them. But I want to be locked in with them, be focused, and spend some quality time with them, getting to know them and having a good time that is only between the two of us.
Yeah, sure. So to kind of get to the end, what would you say is the number one thing that has helped you increase your productivity and like overall make your life better?
Find a purpose. Because what I've recently noticed is that you yourself, you have all these goals. You want something, you want that money, you want maybe a better connection to God, you want a stronger body, you want a future family, a wife, whatever. And you can have all the motivation you want if you don't have a purpose that goes beyond yourself, beyond just I want that, then you're gonna give up over time. Because on some days you feel like, yo, I don't really want that, it's not for me, and these are the days you're gonna give up. But when you are also working for other people who are counting on you, when you're working for a bigger purpose to inspire people, then there's just no reason, or at least it's for me, that there's just no time I feel like, yeah, I can't do the work right now. Because I feel like other people are counting on me, there are people's lives depending on me, and other people want to see me win, so why quit?
What's your number one purpose?
My number one purpose? My future family.
I'd say that's a really strong, powerful phrase to end this little conversation off. I really enjoyed it. I think lots of value for you as well. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, was nice talking to you.